Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. It is Monday, March 18th. I hope all of you had a great weekend. My voice is almost back, as you can probably see. Last week, I woke up and I can't even hear myself. And I thought this microphone, we're going to need some magnifying tools and all kinds of extra audio components to make this work because my voice was absolutely terrible. But here's the thing. Heading into the weekend, I had a lot of things going on with bare knuckle fighting. And a lot of things kind of came to reality of people, which we'll head into our quote at the end of the show. But a lot of warriors out there, a lot of good things. But today, we're going to talk a lot about the NFL and dive into the Steelers and start right away with Justin Fields. Interesting things are happening, right? Players are getting traded around the league left and right, but quarterbacks are doing dynamic things. And I've been saying this the whole time. I said Russell Wilson to the Steelers. I said Justin Fields to the Steelers. I did not think that they would both actually go to the Steelers at the same time. But that's what happened, right? Justin Fields is now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's like, is he the long-term solution for the Steelers, right? Because obviously Russell Wilson can't be. He's on a one-year deal. He's there. He's getting older. He's a veteran. This is the guy right now. Like, I think the Steelers are making it pretty obvious that Justin Fields is, in fact, their guy, right? Like, okay, you bring in Russell Wilson, great guy. He's a veteran. He'll come in. If your team is built correctly and you got a good offensive line, you got some running backs, obviously they do, some skill position receivers, which they do, the Steelers are in a good position. And which basically says in a roundabout way that it all came down to the quarterback position last year. And I'm not saying they're winning Super Bowls. I'm not saying they're that talented yet, but I'm just saying if you look at the Steelers in general, the whole entire complex of the team and where they're going to make the playoffs, then it was, oh, they are going to. Then you're not really sure. A lot of it came down to the quarterback play. Right? Every team has that question. But now when you go, whoa, Russell Wilson in the lineup, or potentially, Justin Fields in the lineup, right? Now the team looks a little different. And people are like, well, Russell Wilson, he's washed up or he's not good. We brought that up. His time is coming to an end. They got a good deal, right? $1.2 million, a veteran minimum contract of $1.2 million. Anybody in the NFL is taking that deal. Right? Like, you're paying a lot of players a lot more money. But the big question comes down to, really, how does Justin Fields fit in the mold for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Right? That's a conversation, a question that people want to know, because it was like, is Justin Fields going to, stay with the Bears? Then it was, is he going to go to the Falcons? And they picked up Kirk Cousins, $180 million. We talked about that. Cam Newton said, a lot of people said that was crazy. But then all of a sudden, the Steelers say, hey, we got Russell Wilson. We're also going to pick up Justin Fields. It's like nobody thought that was going to happen, but it did. So the question is he the long-term guy? And here's what I got to tell you. Absolutely. Whether you like Justin Fields or not, if you're a Steelers fan and you don't like Justin Fields, you don't think he's going to be a good fit, or if other fans around the world watching football, like, Justin Fields, not that good. In college he was okay, got to the NFL and he didn't shine. If you say that, that's fine. But they're bringing him in to be the long-term guy. That's for sure. There's no reason to bring in Russell Wilson and then bring Justin Fields if he's not your guy, right? Like, this is a long-term solution for the Steelers. I'm just saying that's a cool, interesting dynamic. Mike Tomlin, he brought him in. He's like, look, we're going to make this happen. And I think he said, look, instead of making you the starter right away, you're the quote-unquote starter if something happens to Russell Wilson. And we're excited about that. But even if not, you have time to build. You have time to grow. No one's rushing you on the field, rushing you through your reads, rushing you through your learning capacity and ability to play in the National Football League. And people will say, look, he's been there for several years now. He's got to get better now. It's time to win now. And that's true. I agree that's true. But the whole point of the situation, the story is they have two very good quarterbacks. I want to say great. And we've seen Russell Wilson flashes of greatness. We've seen that. And we've seen him go through bumps in the road like a lot of quarterbacks. I would say he's quote unquote very good, solid quarterback. And then Justin Fields, someone very dynamic. Someone who can make people miss. He's shifty. He can run. He can pass. He's the guy that they want to build long term. And what did they have to do to make this happen? They had to release Kenny Pickett, right? Which was interesting too. We'll get into that as well. But it's like, how does Kenny Pickett now fit in with the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Like, Jalen Hurts is their guy. Easy conversation. No worries there. But what kind of report did the Eagles pull on Kenny Pickett to bring him to the Eagles? I'm not saying Kenny Pickett's terrible. I'm not saying he can't play well. I'm just saying The only real interesting fact of this matter, interesting point to this, is Kenny Pickett is from a very close proximity, right? And I think I have some of the information here on my stream deck here, and also information that's on my computer. But Kenny Pickett is very close to that, right? Grew up in Jersey, right outside Philly. So it's like, hey, you went to the Steelers, you went to Pitt. Very comfortable situation. Right next door. Now all of a sudden, he's in Philly. Well, guess what? He grew up right next door in Jersey. So this is a good situation. A lot of fans, a lot of friends, a lot of family, a lot of support. Eagles obviously know who he is. So I'm not saying it's a bad situation for Kenny Pickett. What I'm saying is, did the Eagles just grab him because, hey, it was a good opportunity to just bring somebody in? They needed a quarterback. They need somebody. Or do they really believe in Kenny Pickett if Jalen Hurts goes down? That's really the ultimate conversation. Do they see a lot in Kenny Pickett? Or do they just see him as a guy who can come in and, he can play just in case something happens? And that's probably what the real situation really is, right? But what kind of report did they run? What did they see in him to make this happen? Because it was like, they brought Russell Wilson in, great. Compete with Kenny Pickett. We knew that was going to be the situation. And then immediately, what we're told is Kenny Pickett asked for a trade. Obviously, you're the guy, you're quote unquote the guy, you get hurt, you're out, they bring in Russell Wilson. You're not the guy anymore. But it's a one-year deal. You could have hung out in Pittsburgh for a little bit, and Russell Wilson's getting older, something happens, you step in. Just because you go to the Eagles, you're doing the same, except for going to the Eagles, you're really not going to play at all because Jalen Hurts isn't leaving for years to come. I'm talking, if he gets an extended contract, Jalen Hurts could be there for the next 5 to 10 years. So at the end of the day, I believe Kenny Pickett's situation, if he had stayed in Pittsburgh, could have potentially been better. But if their eyes were on Justin Fields, which happened very quickly, as soon as he was gone, it was like, okay, immediately we're bringing in Justin Fields. So it worked out, I guess, for both parties. But now Kenny Pickett is with the Eagles. Very interesting conversation. And that happened over this past last several days as well. But moving on, Deion Sanders. Now, obviously, everybody knows Deion Sanders. He's always in the media. He's in the spotlight. Was a piece for a long time, National Football League, played multiple sports. But obviously, he's got some questions and he's got some answers that he's putting on blast. But why I have this up here right now is he thinks Caleb Williams is not a good fit for the Bears, right? Caleb Williams is going first pick to the Bears. That's happening now. We know that's happening because they just got rid of Justin Fields. Not there. So the Bears are going to draft a quarterback. The first pick in the draft, 99%, everyone that's watching the draft, you're going to see it's going to be, more than likely, going to be Caleb Williams. So Deion gets on and says something pretty interesting. And he said, look, Caleb Williams isn't a good fit. And the reason why he's not a good fit is because he's used to playing in better weather conditions out at USC, and then now heading into National Football League, it's going to be cold. But he also mentioned, hey, he grew up over in the DC area, over in that location. So it was cold all through high school. I'm sure he had that. A lot of players had to play through that. But he made some interesting points. And these interesting points are this. He doesn't even want his own son to go play in the National Football League in the cold weather. He made that very clear. And he's like, Caleb Williams won't be able to do it. Not a good situation. Not a good opportunity to show up and play in the cold. You went to USC. It's nice weather out in California. When you play in the cold, especially in playoff season, the northern states, it's freezing, right? A lot of these players have to be tough, mentally tough, physically tough. And what he said was, Caleb Williams is not the guy to go to Chicago. But then he talked about his own son. He goes, well, I don't think that I want my son to go play in any northern state either, which is interesting because I like Deion Sanders, but you're in Colorado. And he's like, well, Colorado, it's not that cold through certain parts of the winter. I'm going, look, I watch Colorado only on TV most of the time, right? Put it up, or you put a little background to your TV. You're having a little party at your house. Put a little background Colorado. It's snowing, dumping feet of snow. It's cold. It's freezing. We watched him at the games. We watched him show up in his little cart when he was having surgery on his foot and everything. And there's snow coming down. It's cold. But I do get the point. Hey, I'd rather my son play where it's warm. If he can go play in the South, any southern state, even places like Texas, the Dallas Cowboys all through the bottom half, New Orleans, you can even go to Miami, obviously, Jacksonville, Tampa, a lot of other places to play, Atlanta. But what he's saying is he doesn't think Caleb Williams is a good fit for the first pick. And that's interesting because Caleb Williams is 100%, my opinion, going first pick. I just think that's going to happen. They're giving in the 90 percentile, but I think it is 100% that he's going there. But Deion Sanders made it very clear, not going to be a good situation. And a lot of people also actually agree with him. Now listen to this. I have some conversation for you guys. If you're just sitting here right now, welcome to the show. Welcome to the chat. Comment where you're from. Thank all of you for joining me today. We're talking about the Chiefs because they could possibly be leaving Kansas City. You heard that right. You heard that clear. This is some new information, some new news due to tax implications and things. They want to get out of it. When they want a new stadium, they want to change things. But the Kansas City Chiefs are like, we might be out of here. And they have a lease on the stadium for a few more years, but they're like, we are looking around at other options. Arrowhead Stadium is one of the best places to play in the National Football League. If they did that, it would be detrimental, right? Like guys like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, we talk about them a lot on the show. They're the stars of the NFL. These are great, big-time people. But, I mean, think about it like that. And I'm putting in the chat now, where are you guys from? You're in here for the first time. Put where you're from. Where are you located, man? Like I'm asking you in the chat. Don't be scared to comment. That's what helps expand and build our platform. But, look, they're talking about the fact that this could happen, right? And I got the picture here, I believe. Or maybe I don't. Let me double check. I don't have it there. But I have a photo here. I might have added it or not to today's show for Arrowhead Stadium. But at the end of the day, if the Chiefs decide to leave Arrowhead Stadium, a lot of implications are going to happen there, right? Like check this out. I got this little thing here, and I can read it to you. They're exploring the options. It says right here, I got my computer in front of me. The Chiefs might explore option of leaving Kansas City if upcoming sales tax vote doesn't go their way, okay? So I'm looking at this right now, and it says the Chiefs have been playing here in Kansas City since 1963, but there seems to be at least a small chance that the team could move on due to tax implications. They want to change some things. And this is what I'm told. The renovation to the stadium would be upwards of $800 million. So you know what they want to do? They want to put some of that tax into the local area to help build that stadium. A lot of people have done it. I understand it. But here's the thing. The owner is stating that he will fund up to $300 million of this build out. And I have it here right in front of me, reading it off straight up. Literally, they said they would sign an extension that could go up to, no, check this out. This is even more important. It says a sales tax right now is already in place through 2031. And if voters approve the extension, the tax would stay in place until 2064. So there's already a current situation going on. But all I'm saying is they legit are looking at opportunities. They want the tax bill to go through so the area can help fund the stadium to build that $800 million. And it's the only way really to do it, right? Unless you can fund all that money, which I got to be honest with you, I don't think that a lot of people can just fork that bill all the time. But these are billionaires. These owners are billionaires. So when you got players like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce running around the field, you got a lot of say-so and people are listening to you. But I got to tell you, Arrowhead Stadium has shown a lot of love to these players, like lots of love, and they show up. When I say show up, they show up. And you see them out there, you see them out there, and they're all for their team. The fan base is big, one of the toughest places to play. If they leave Arrowhead Stadium because of tax implications, because people in the area don't want to fund it, that could put a lot of sour taste in people's mouth. I'm just saying, like, it literally can put a lot of sour taste in the local community. And you need that local community to continue building the team, the brand, the camaraderie. Patrick Mahomes is there for a long time, but when you lose Patrick Mahomes eventually, you're going to have to bring in somebody else. And I'm just saying, I think the smartest thing they should do is stay in Arrowhead Stadium and keep building there. Moving on to Aaron Donald. He retires. Okay, did Aaron Donald retire at the right time? Let me tell you something. Aaron Donald, Pittsburgh guy, right? I believe went to Penn Hills. And then he obviously went to Pitt. He went Penn Hills out in Pittsburgh. Then he went to Pitt. University of Pittsburgh, another guy, went to the same school. So I love watching him play. But here's the thing. Aaron Donald was a beast, man. Gets to the Rams, and he's a wrecking ball. And I want to tell you something. Did he retire at the right time? A lot of people, they get to National Football League, they have ups and downs, and they want to stay, then they want to go, and there's problems. Here's the thing about Aaron Donald. He has been representing for his city the whole time. Giving back, I believe they said he's got a new gym now out in Pittsburgh also, doing some great things, donating money to his alma mater, which is freaking awesome. He was a beast in the NFL, which was awesome too. And then on top of that, the guy also bought his parents a home or his dad funded a home. There's this beautiful story about all these things. And here's what I want to say. There comes a point in time in the NFL where you have to leave the game. You have to retire, right? And it's hard for every single player in the National Football League to do that. But as soon as Aaron Rodgers said, look, I'm up to retire, moving on, it was like, whoa. The Rams this season, Los Angeles Rams, have an awesome team coming back. They got a lot of great players, picking up great players, led by Stafford. People were like, this is going to be great. And then Aaron Donald says, hey, I'm retiring. That's the centerfold of their defense. Hands down, the center of their defensive line, the guy that people want out there every single day in and day out. Aaron Donald is the guy and probably would get one of the largest contracts with an extension that will happen right now in the National Football League. Just one of those beasts out there that can play anywhere. And the problem right now that you face is you lose a big time guy, right? But the more interesting conversation that I'm having right now is the simple fact that did he retire at the right time? I honestly think that he did. He's done everything he needed to do in the National Football League. Played wonderful, dominated high school, dominated college, dominated the NFL. He's given back to numerous people. Like I told you, my hat's off to him, Aaron Donald. Awesome time. Great watching you play. It's been great to watch. This NFL season, we wanted to cover more of the Rams, obviously, because they have some great opportunity this year. And we will be covering a lot of the NFL as it gets started into preseason. It's going to be freaking awesome. Guys coming on here. It's going to be great. But yeah, Aaron Donald just stepped away from the National Football League, somebody who we wanted to watch for a long time. But moving on to today's part of the show, the quote of the day, which I think you guys should all read. And this was fired too from Bailey's bare knuckle fights, obviously, but also because of what I see in this quote. So everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, right? And what I'm saying about that is not to be overly tough about it, but the truth is, including myself, everyone has a freaking plan until they get punched in the mouth. Like, yeah, this is going to work out really great. Like you put it on the UFC or boxing and bare knuckle, like you go in there ready to fight. And I see guys out there that I thought were going to be talented get knocked out because they just had a plan until they got punched in the mouth. Like that's the thing. But we're going to relate this to our lives, right? All of us out here today, including everyone in the chat, and I appreciate all of you. But we're gonna put that out for everyone that's in here. Look, if you're gonna get up and do something, it's not gonna go your way, right? Like all these NFL players, NBA players, UFC fighters that are on the show, you're gonna see more people coming on. They all have a freaking plan. Like I have a plan. I woke up this morning, I had a solid plan until your daughter's freaking out or your son forgets his book bag at home and you got to run that book bag back to the school. You got 10 minutes left to get back and turn these lights on and get prepared. Like everybody has a real plan until you get punched in the mouth. And then when you get punched in the mouth, you're like, okay, now we need a new plan or we need to execute a better situation because it doesn't always work out to our ability. So we have to make things happen, right? So, and I don't want to bore you guys with these quotes. I just think it's important. We get on every day. We do sports and entertainment, which is what I do. And you're going to have a lot of players and athletes coming on here. We have photos and all kinds of cool videos from the event that we went to on Friday. We have all the media passes now, too, for all the bare knuckle events and fights. Well, I appreciate that. Hats off to those guys, David Cranston and Chris Lytle. Thank you for that. But the fighters are coming on. We enjoyed that. It's a little change of pace. NFL players coming on, NBA players coming on, and some cool celebrities that are in comedy, some entertainment. So I appreciate all of you that are joining and listening to this. But again, I'm going to leave you guys with this. It's Monday. This is my freaking hardest day of the week. I get up and it's like, how the hell does the weekend only have 2 days? Like you got 5 days and you only got 2 days on the weekend. And really, Sunday doesn't really feel like a weekend because you're preparing for Monday. So I really feel like, tell me if I'm wrong, it should be more like we have Monday through Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday should be the weekend. Like that's what I would do. That's kind of what I'm aiming toward. I think everybody should have that ability. 4 days on, 3 days off. Come back strong. Give them a strong 4 days, right? That's all I'm saying. But in general, look, I appreciate all of you coming on the show today. And anybody that wants to come on, you're going to start seeing them obviously talking here in the chat. I appreciate all of you. But people that are reaching out, I'm excited to have everybody on here, all the live entertainment. If you're on here right now, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when we go live. Because, yeah, we go live every single day at 10 a.m. But now as more guests start coming on, we do all these live appearances. Even one of the fights actually is in Los Angeles. As we started to move forward with some of that, I want you guys to get notified immediately. Boom, he's live right now. You can check in and see what's going on. It's going to be some cool stuff, entertaining, fun events. That's what I do, entertainment, but sports just happens to be the topic. I appreciate that my buddies mentioned that to me. That's exactly what it is. So, guys, thank you. Enjoy your Monday. Take your time today, get through today, and come back prepared. And remember, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. So don't be that person. Be ready to go and be focused. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. We have a lot to talk about. We have some live guests this week. We even have a girl fighter coming on, and she just got done. She just got stitched up and all that. So you're going to see all that live on the show, which is pretty freaking cool to get people's personalities and points, not just guy fighters, but girls as well. It's going to be very, very interesting. I look forward to seeing you guys bright and early tomorrow. Have your coffee. See you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Until next time.